Throughout the history of games, piracy has been an issue. Because of this, game developers sometimes implement countermeasures, sometimes humorous, sometimes game-breaking, and always interesting. Anyway, here's my top 10 anti-piracy methods in games. Number 10. Alan Wake. The anti-piracy tactic in this game is a little more satirical than others. If piracy is detected whilst playing Alan Wake, the game will replace the tips on the loading screen with a message asking you to buy the game, and give you a permanent eye patch, giving a metaphoric nod to your piracy ways. Number 9. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. Command & Conquer is a fun game where you build up your army, monopolising resources of the local area and investing it where you see fit. However, getting even that far on a pirated copy may be troublesome when your entire base and army explodes, leaving you with nothing to defend yourself. Number 8. Crysis Warhead. Crysis is a shooter. By definition, the game revolves around progression through taking down your enemies with guns. Guns that shoot bullets, because they kill people, unless the game is pirated. If piracy is detected, your gun will simply shoot harmless chickens rather than the usual refined metal. Number 7. Earthbound, or Mother 2. The Earthbound series is one of the titans of classic JRPGs which are still loved today. With its childish visage yet dark undertones, it still calls for a lot of conversation today. Playing a pirated copy of this game would cause you to take a trip of madness, not like what's already in the game, which pumped up the difficulty of enemies and enemy encounter rates to masochistic levels. For anyone who enjoy a heavy challenge, this isn't too bad until you reach the final boss and the game freezes and you lose all your save data on the cartridge. Number 6. Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is a game revolving around the huge trend at the time, freerunning and motion sickness. This unique game, published during EA's more experimental phase, has you running around rooftops, avoiding combat while trying to solve the conspiracy revolving a murder. However, this accomplishment is a lot harder to do on a pirated copy of the game. Once anti-piracy software kicks in, the game slows you down to a walking pace before large, mandatory jumps, essentially rendering progression futile. Number 5. GTA 4. With the invention of the Steadicam, action in movies suddenly became 1,000,000,000% likely to cause less motion sickness, due to the shaky hand and running of the sweaty guy behind the camera. This, for the most part, never affected gaming, unless you pirated GTA 4. If you did, the game's camera would wildly shake, as if your game were being recorded by a media student making the millionth rendition of the Blair Witch Project. The game is technically playable from start to end, but not without the high chance of headache and eye strain. Number 4. Michael Jackson The Experience. If anyone remembers the 2010 World Cup held in South Africa, you'll remember the infamous vuvuzelas. The infamous sound was the cause of many complaints to TV networks and event organisers. Articles sprang up of ruptured eardrums and is often associated with a lot of hate. So it's amusing to see if you played a pirated version of Michael Jackson's The Experience on DS. The experience would be dampened with the ever-known sound of a vuvuzela constantly blurring in the background, meaning there was no way to enjoy the game without purchasing it, unless you strangely enjoy the sound of vuvuzelas. Number 3. Game Dev Tycoon. Game Dev Tycoon is a game about making games. Meta, I know. You chose the direction of the game, the genre, how the funding is spent, how it's advertised, and in a twist of irony, if you were playing a pirated copy, then your sales would always be diminished due to, you guessed it, piracy, eventually leading to bankruptcy. Number 2. Batman: Arkham Asylum. This game took the gaming world by storm. No one expected a comic book based game, which are notorious for being bad, to win Game of the Year, let alone be good. With its mix of stealth and action, it really kickstarted an enjoyable franchise which seems to only get better with time. Playing a pirated copy, however, gave a different experience, where you would glide majestically with expert skill like a bird of prey. Instead, Batman would simply forget how to, and plummet to his demise, rendering the game unplayable. Number 1. Serious Sam 3. Serious Sam really contradicts its own title by being a fun, arcadey action game, but when piracy is detected, there is a shift in momentum. During play, you would be indiscriminately chased by a hyperspeed, invincible pink scorpion. No matter how much you unloaded your arsenal of gear, you cannot phase the thing as it disrupts play and doesn't stop until you are no longer standing, almost giving a survival horror element to what is otherwise a light-hearted game. So there you have it, my top 10 anti-piracy methods in games. I would have thrown the new Sims 4 one in there, but because of the broken way EA implemented it, it actually started affecting people who bought the game legit. Anyway, if you want to see my previous top 10 indie games, click here. And if you want to see something not game related, here's my top 10 old wives' tales. Thanks for watching and goodbye.